Okay, so I'm going to be talking about the beauty industry and the FDA. The beauty industry produces about $95 billion annually, and it consists of makeup products, skincare, hair care, and perfumes. But the question is, how safe are the consumers of the beauty industry? And so it leads me to my main claim that the FDA is insufficient to protect their consumers. The FDA is insufficient to protect their consumers because the FDA does not approve most beauty products that's out in the market. So there's a difference between FDA approved and FDA regulated, and most of them are FDA regulated, but they're not approved. And this is why people would turn to organic makeup products and skincare. My first supporting claim is that the FDA lacks authority to investigate or punish manufacturers of dangerous products. The FDA has up to date ordered a mandatory recall of harmful cosmetic beauty products, and companies and manufacturers aren't required to report complaints about their products to the FDA. So for example, if you buy like a soap or a skincare product and it causes irritation or a skin problem, and if you try and report it to the company doesn't have to report that complaint to the FDA, and they have no legal authority to recall or ban that product. My second claim is that the FDA is more lenient on beauty products than they are on food or drugs. An example would be One Hair Care. One Hair Care has caused a lot of health issues to consumers. It caused skin irritation, hair loss, brittle hair, bald patches, itching, and rashes. And so the FDA did an open investigation after 127 customers reported a problem. And they actually found out that when Hair Care's manufacturer received 21,000 complaints of hair loss and scalp irritation. And so even though cosmetic manufacturers don't really have to forward the complaints to the FDA, consumers didn't know anything about the health-related issues of this product, and that product is still out on the market. The FDA is also more lenient on the ingredients that are in cosmetics. There are powerful chemicals that are in cosmetics, and Canada and Europe have banned 1,300 ingredients in cosmetics, but the US has only banned 11. So here are some examples of some ingredients that are banned in other countries but are still in the US. Petroleum is one of them, and that's found in skincare and hair care. And that's bad because long-term use of petroleum can lead to cancer, according to dermatologist Howard Sobel. Propylparaben is another one, and that's found in makeup, skincare, and hair care. And that's bad because paraben buildup in your body can lead to reduced fertility. And then lastly, poor lack of attention from the FDA can be dangerous for consumers who are willing to try new products. And this is because the law requires no specific test before a company brings out a new product. And the law also requires no specific list of ingredients. However, Dianne Feinstein and Susan Collins have introduced a bill to amend the Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetics Act. And it basically says that manufacturers would have to be required to submit complaints to the FDA, provide a complete list of ingredients, and allow the FDA to order recalls or ban products. So in conclusion, many times complaints forged against cosmetic companies go without a penalty or violation, whereas food and drugs may have complaints that cause the product to be penalized or banned.
All right, the proposition's identified. It seems like it's reasonable, although it does have some complexity to the premises that you've got there. There's no preview of what the secondary points are going to be, so we have to pay attention to those as they come up, not knowing how many they're going to be. In the end, I think there were 3, although only 2 of them got a numerical signpost in the body of the speech. That's a little bit less clear than it ought to be. I could see maybe a secondary point under the second point, and then it looked like there was a third point as well, but that was not as clear as it should have been. And like I said, a preview would have probably assisted there. We generally know what the issue is. I think you explained some of the basic ideas behind this. I do think that you need to provide more sourcing for some of the information. The lack of authority of the FDA to act in these particular cases. I'm sure that somebody has stated that. Obviously, Feinstein and Collins think that there's a lack of authority. That's why they're proposing a bill to give the authority. So I'm not sure why you don't bother to give us some concrete reference to this lack of authority. A piece of testimony or some lawyer who has evaluated what the law requires or doesn't require, or even citing the FDA's own rules in that particular case. I think that would be a pretty simple thing to do. I don't doubt what you're saying. I'm just saying that you need to offer some proof for it because there are doubters out there. On the issue of risks, you kind of go in 2 directions here. You are talking about the lack of authority to do recalls, and you're also saying that the FDA is too lenient, and your proof of that is that there is some risk from these particular products. You have one example that you show a risk from, and that's the One Health product that apparently removes people's hair somehow, and there were 21,000 complaints about that. And then after that, there's some vaguer information about substances that are included in cosmetics that have been banned in other parts of the world but haven't been banned in the United States. And then there's kind of this general statement about what some of the risks of those things are, but not how much risk the cosmetic products present. The fact that something can potentially cause a harm doesn't mean that it has caused a harm. It just means that there's a potential there. And if it hasn't caused a harm, I'm not sure that the FDA would be able to do much about it, even if this law was put into place. And if it is causing a harm, then you ought to be able to cite some information that shows that. And I think that that's part of the problem here, that part of the argument is a little bit underdeveloped. All right, thank you.